program lineup is brought to you by Vision Express.
NBC's Wednesday primetime lineup comes into focus with Vision Express. Fast, fashionable, focused.
KUAM TVH, first on Guam.
KUAM News headlines are presented by Calvo's Insurance, protecting Micronesia for 85 years. Matson and the Adai Itano program. Apply at matson.com and McDonald's of Guam. I'm loving it.
Ahead on KUAM News Primetime.
5 employees at Guam Homeland Security Office of Civil Defense indicted on tampering and official misconduct, accused of committing crimes against the community.
Plus, GovGuam's largest agency in the hot seat before senators. This as certain board members want to get rid of the Guam DOE superintendent.
And a violent scene unfolding in Chuuk State moments after the swearing in for the governor and lieutenant governor. Hafda and good evening. Welcome to KUAM News Primetime. I'm Nick Delgado.
And I'm Destiny Cruz-Lingus. Thank you so much for making us a part of your day.
5 employees at Guam Homeland Security Office of Civil Defense will answer to charges filed against them in Superior Court.
The grand jury handing down the indictment against the employees facing allegations of tampering, official misconduct, and crimes against the community.
Tonight, Guam's Attorney General using the case as a call-out for others to blow the whistle on government corruption.
The administrator for the Office of Civil Defense, Charles Estevez, and 4 certifying officers are indicted by Superior Court of Guam grand jury. Estevez, Michael Tyron, Joel Valenzuela, Patrick Leon Guerrero, and Marie Kenga are each charged with certifying officer malfeasance and official misconduct, along with special allegation crime against the community. Kenga, who is also the administrative officer, is charged with tampering with public records. Court documents state from dates as far back as February 2016 to the latest being August 2023, the defendants knowingly took unlawful control over government-owned property. Attorney General Doug Moreland presented the charges to a grand jury Tuesday night. He spoke about it with our partners on The Point.
So the process has begun. What I want to do with this opportunity is to ask all certifying officers and people in this community, including especially government employees that may be close with this governor and her administration, to come forward to the Attorney General's office, start talking to us now versus us bringing them before a grand jury. It's better that they try to disclose what they know in order to help us root out this corruption that's going on.
The case, a result of an audit from the Office of Public Accountability, an investigation revealing $8.4 million in federal reimbursements had not been received by the general fund. And months later, auditors found millions in unauthorized overtime. Guam Homeland and Civil Defense spokesperson Jenna Blas says the agency is aware of the indictments. As this pertains to personnel matters, we are limited in what we can share at this time, adding their office remains committed to upholding the integrity of our mission and the public trust we serve. The agency's oversight chair, Senator Shango Matauta, stating in part this development is yet another example of the erosion of credibility of the government of Guam with our federal partners. We must do better in all of our respective roles. He wants the governor to intervene. In a statement, the governor's office says they are reviewing the charges and will take appropriate action as necessary to ensure appropriate monitoring and supervision, adding operations will continue uninterrupted.
Well, Guam Homeland confirming this afternoon that Valenzuela and Tyron are no longer employed with the agency. Meantime, the 5 defendants scheduled to answer to the charges before a magistrate judge on May 1st.
A man is arrested in connection to a shooting that was sparked by a road rage incident reported in Jigo last Friday. Junior Matt is arrested on suspicion of aggravated assault and illegal weapons and drug possession charges, among others. Investigators say Matt allegedly cut in front of another car headed north on Route 3 before he continued onto Route 9.
The victim attempting to pass when Matt allegedly pointed a pistol out of his driver's side door and pulled the trigger, shattering the victim's rear window. Fortunately, no one was injured. Authorities were tipped off and tracked him down Tuesday. During his arrest, police found a firearm and meth.
Thousands of dollars stolen from a parked car in Tumon in broad daylight.
The theft caught on camera. Take a look at the video sent to the KUAM newsroom of the thief caught in the act. The theft unfolding about 5:30 p.m. on April 9th, 1 week ago, along Frank H. Cushing Way in Tumon. Surveillance video shows a man wearing a white shirt, blue shorts, and a baseball cap. He opens the passenger door of the victim's car before taking off with the victim's belongings. Eva's Paleo reported it to Guam police. He hopes you can help to identify the thief.
I was just like trying to overload something there, but the guy just came up like so fast. It's like maybe less than 10 minutes. Then when I came back, then I can't find my wallet. Yeah.
About how much did he take off with?
Mostly he took almost like maybe two grand. Yeah. Also my Japanese yen, my whole ID, everything.
His message to the thief: don't steal, bro. He adds the wallet is important to him as well, which is why he's hoping to get it back. If you recognize the man on your screen, you're asked to call Guam police. Sounding the alarm and planning for the worst, the Guam Department of Education in the hot seat before senators today.
The oversight hearing comes as GovGuam's largest agency suffers a major blow in losing federal money.
A crucial oversight hearing with the Guam Department of Education underway Wednesday. A direct response as Education Oversight Chair Senator Vince Borja says we are nearing a $150 million question.
This is me sounding alarm, planning for the worst, and making sure that we're all on the same page, working from the same battle plan and aligned on the same mission.
The hearing comes on the heels of a swift shift in federal policy, the abrupt termination of GDOE's liquidation period for millions in American Rescue Plan funds, money that was critical to initiatives like the ongoing 12-school refurbishment project. Franklin Cooper Nurse laying out the impact in stark terms.
And what they did was effectually rescind their prior approval, making us, in good faith, obligate those funds which are no longer now at risk of being available. So that's the real risk that this department is facing, and that risk totals about $180 million in ARP.
Now vendors including Intergenerational, the main contractor for the refurbishment project, have been ordered to begin a 45-day work pause starting Friday, a necessary measure to contain costs. But halting construction mid-project isn't a simple switch, as GDOE Capital Improvement Coordinator Nicholas Cruz explains.
At George Washington High School, they're currently doing exterior door replacements, and what do you want them to do? You want them to pause on Friday, but I have 10, 15 doors that need to be hung up. At Agata Johnston Middle School, we were preparing for restroom renovations. Just the other day, they started disassembling toilets and urinals. After our conversation with Cortec, they are going to gear up to try and meet that deadline. However, due to how large the project is, it's going to take some time for them to come to a stop to where the 12 sites are safe for the students to use.
Cruz adding even winding down operations comes at a cost, from demobilizing materials to securing equipment. And if funding is restored, remobilizing will take more time and more money. The refurbishment at FB Leon Guerrero Middle School is also in limbo. To open by January 2026, over $16 million must be shifted from federal to local funds, while GDOE still awaits a $51 million reimbursement to avoid asking for that local support. In the meantime, GDOE confirms it has already submitted its appeal documents to the U.S. Department of Education for review.
Time for a quick break.
You're watching KUAM.
So I think self-expression comes from within, and I'm doing nebbing to express what I feel through garments, through fabric, and through styles. I took an idea of transforming the traditional muumuu into contemporary silhouettes. Why not be bolder, more creative with the way you present yourself to the world? I hope to empower women to feel the way that I feel when it comes to understanding and accepting different cultures. It's something more positive so that our communities can be in that same direction. Nevin encourages a Micronesian woman of today to be bold, creative, passionate, and to freely express themselves without taking away from your own heritage, but just adding value to it.
GU Self Storage, located in Harmon next to McDonald's, offers a variety of storage units. With rates starting as low as $95 per month, we offer complimentary use of dollies, push carts, Plines hand trucks, and pallet jack, with a fully covered loading and unloading areas and ADA accessible units. We offer 24-hour CCTV surveillance monitoring, alarm, and individual pin-coded gate and door access, because your safety is our priority. GU Self Storage, voted Pika's Best in 2024. Call 671-648-7867 today.
NBC's Wednesday primetime lineup comes into focus with Vision Express. Fast, fashionable, focused.
KUAM TV8, first on Guam.
Super speed your life with Docomo Pacific Fiber Internet. Get symmetrical upload and download speeds up to 5 gigs. Get started with Fiber 500 at $145 a month, Fiber 1 gig at $215 a month, or Fiber 5 gig at $299 a month. Plus, get 2 SuperPod 6Es with any plan, and a free EcoFlow River 3 and bonus welcome kit with 1 gig and 5 gig plans. Experience tomorrow's islands today with Docomo Pacific Fiber Internet.
Videos of a fight between state police and civilians at the Chuuk State Legislature going viral overnight.
This just moments after a swearing-in ceremony of a highly contested gubernatorial election. Mitsuki Hirayama has the details.
A fight breaking out at the Chuuk State's legislative chambers after elected officials swore in on Tuesday following a contested gubernatorial election. Shortly after the 3 separate swearing-in ceremonies of all branches, state police arrived to arrest the former deputy director of the Chuuk State Election Office inside these halls and attempted to arrest the sitting Senate president, both without a warrant. This is according to Timothy Ruda, a recently ousted representative in the Chuuk State Legislature.
Obviously, their attempt failed as family members and workers of the legislature intervened. And then thereafter, within the video, or seen in the video, one of the family members that tried to intervene got hit in the head and got injured. He was also escorted to the hospital thereafter.
As reported, the contested election and its controversies led to incumbent Governor Alexander Naroon declaring a state of emergency, where he created a special police force for public safety. Mahoney Mori, the president of the Chuuk Youth Council and chairman of the Pacific Youth Council, has been following the election closely.
Allegedly, politicians are involved and behind all of that. Different parties recognizing two different conflicting commissions. And it's quite a historic event. We're witnessing multiple events, interesting, and of course there were, animosity is quite tense here. There's a lot of tensions.
He was at the governor's swearing-in ceremony, which he says was well organized despite the tensions. As reported, it concluded without disruption. The escalation, according to Ruda, came from law enforcement, not civilians.
The ongoing chaos at the moment, or the ongoing conflict at the moment, is more or less a show of power between 2 separate police forces, one being the state police and then the other being the municipal police. I see people on both sides or both opposing teams who would be co-workers or, just friends, and they're okay. We see people going about their way, people still going to work, people still driving up and down the streets. So far it looks okay, but I think the whole amping up of public safety or the law enforcement is what's causing people to be nervous right now.
Meantime, he says the courts ruled in Governor Naroon and Lieutenant Governor Mikiyoshi Williams' favor, securing their win on Tuesday. The Chuuk State remains in a state of emergency. Ruda hopes the internal conflict can be resolved peacefully before the administration's inauguration in the coming months. Mitsuki Hirayama, KUAM News.
Thanks, Suki. Well, a new bill is making its way through Guam's legislature that could transform the way we think about daycare by connecting the youngest and oldest in our community.
Supporters of Bill 95 say it's time to rethink childcare, and they believe intergenerational daycare centers are the future. Jonah Charfers has the story.
Guam's families are multi-generational by nature, and now legislation is aiming to reflect that in our childcare system. Bill 95-38 would allow for intergenerational daycare centers, creating shared spaces for children and seniors to learn and grow together. Milani Tumon, president and CEO of TGT Guam LLC, which operates the Giving Tree Preschool Centers and the Helping Hands Adult Daycare, shares what inspired her to open an intergenerational daycare center.
When we first opened up the Giving Tree in 2016, we had these field trips to St. Dominic's, and we would take the children to visit the seniors there around the holidays. And so they would do some Christmas performances like dances, and they would also prepare Christmas cards. As soon as they see the children, like there is not one person in the room that isn't like cheek to cheek smiling.
But this innovative concept was not currently addressed in existing government regulations. While the Department of Public Health and Social Services initially expressed support for the idea, the agency later informed her that due to the lack of applicable regulations, it might be forced to deny her license or even shut the facility down. Despite receiving prior approvals, Tumon faced significant regulatory hurdles after making major investments into the center. She was required to make last-minute changes, such as reinstalling walls that had previously passed inspection, just to keep the project afloat. With that being said, the bill, authored by Senator Tina Muñoz-Barnes, proposes amendments to Title 10 of the Guam Code Annotated, paving the way for licensed child care providers to integrate senior-focused services on the same site, creating mutual benefits for both age groups.
We saw the senior center, and we saw our child care center, and we're like, what? I mean, it would be so great if we can have them collaborate once, twice a day, or an activity or two to have story time together, celebrate birthdays together, have music and movement together. And, you know, I just don't see it as anything but natural. Children are naturally curious, and our elderly are naturally nurturing.
The Giving Tree Preschool Center is calling on community members to write letters of support ahead of their legislative hearing, scheduled for April 17th at 2 p.m. Supporters can email their letters to Senator Muñoz-Barnes' office.
If we start with one intergenerational daycare, it might open up doors for many other centers to say, hey, you know what, it's not such a bad idea, and this is something that the community needs. And if we normalize taking care of both our children and our seniors at the same time, that's great.
Advocates say intergenerational care is more than just a novel idea. It's a return to core values that have always been part of island life. From toddlers to elders, Bill 95-38 could bring generations under one roof and closer together. Muñoz-Barnes speaking at a recent event encouraging support for the bill.
When you create something new and you want to bring an industry and want to bring people together, both young and old, what better way for a win-win? Please help me, help Lonnie and the whole team who asked me here at this legislative breakfast for the Women's Chamber to be a part of making history come true for this kind of business to start here.
Jonagan Charfris, KUAM News.
Introducing GTA AirFiber. AirFiber uses next-gen wireless technology to bring an ultra-fast and super reliable internet connection to your home through the air. No wires required. With speeds of up to 500 megabits per second that cable and satellite can't match. Now, the whole family can stream, game, download, and surf the web like never before. Elevate your connection with GTA AirFiber. Call us or visit gta.net today.
Don't need a work break, keep the smile on your face. The moments you can't replace, and I'll be around. Whoa. You can count on me.
takes you, we're always here for you. Calvo's Insurance. Count on us for life.
Bye. I wish they could move back home.
Should we build on a honeymoon?
Yes. Yes!
First Hawaiian Bank knows that family comes first. That's why our bankers work with you to make your what-ifs a reality. Personalized service and digital tools, all under one roof when you bank on the best. First Hawaiian Bank. It all starts with yes.
McDonald's meets the Minecraft universe with 6 new collectibles in a Minecraft movie meal.
Wesley kicks out. Simon, big three. Oh, baby! Wesley kicks out. Simon, big three. Oh, baby!
At the heart of Guam, there's one place where everyone comes together. Kmart, your American superstore, celebrating 30 years with you. To our brave service members, enjoy a special military discount every day as our thanks. To our local community, we've grown with you, bringing trusted brands at prices you love. This season, celebrate with us. From fiestas to family gatherings, we're your one-stop shop. Since 1995, we've grown with you. Here's to 30 years of memories, savings, and the spirit of Guam. Kmart, where everyone is family.
Super speed your life with Docomo Pacific Fiber Internet. Get symmetrical upload and download speeds up to 5 gigs. Get started with Fiber 500 at $145 a month, Fiber 1 gig at $215 a month, or Fiber 5 gig at $299 a month. Plus, get 2 SuperPod 6Es with any plan, and a free EcoFlow River 3 and bonus welcome kit with 1 gig and 5 gig plans. Experience tomorrow's islands today with Docomo Pacific Fiber Internet.
Physical fitness is made possible by our partner, Coast 360. We thrive.
Hey everybody, here we are with Physical Fitness. Once again, we are Coast 360 in Mighty. I got my guys Andrew and Derek, and we are talking about applying for a loan. So gentlemen, happy day, and thanks for having me. Okay, Andrew, I'd like to start with you because when it comes to like applying for a loan, what key factors do lenders such as yourself, like what are they looking for? And if I'm coming to you because I need financing, what are the key elements that I have to show you?
So generally, the loan officer will take a look at a couple things when it comes to borrowing money. So we commonly refer to it as like the 5 C's credit. We take a look at your capacity to pay, which is how much do you make, what is your monthly income. We take a look at your capital, basically how much do you have in the bank, how much of a down payment can you put on a house or a car. We look at your conditions, so generally what type of loan you're applying for, the interest rate, things like that. We look at the collateral, which is what you're purchasing, what the value of the car or the house should be worth more than what the loan that we're giving you, and then of course your character, which is your payment history, and of course your credit score.
Okay, consumer loan manager Derek Ballinger here. So Derek, when it comes to repayment, how do the different products and how does the interest rate affect that, and how do I know what's right for me?
We do offer a lot of products at Coast 360. On the consumer side, we offer unsecured loans, which are probably the most common because you can use them for any purpose, really. We also do auto loans, credit cards, cash secured loans, which are helpful for people trying to build or reestablish credit. And then on the mortgage side, of course, we do mortgage loans. We also do commercial loans. Generally speaking, secured loans are generally going to give you a lower interest rate. That would be your auto loan, mortgage loan, cash secured loans. So if you are buying a car, it could be beneficial to get an auto loan as opposed to a personal loan because you can take advantage of a lower rate.
When it comes to repayment of those, how do the terms differ, and like what are the conditions?
Usually on secured loans, most lenders would be willing to go a little longer because there is collateral attached to the loan. Typical unsecured loan may go up to 5 years, whereas auto loans, you can go 6 or 7 years. Mortgages, of course, all the way up to 30 years. Mortgages are typically bigger loans that require maybe a longer payment, whereas unsecured loans might be smaller and you can pay off a little quicker.
Okay, now Andrew, when it comes to me doing things right, I want to hopefully get things right the first time. So to make sure that I have the least amount of friction when I'm applying for a loan with you, what do I have to do, and what ducks do I have to have in a row?
So definitely when you're applying for loans, you would like to have do a little bit of research first on what you're going to get into. So have an idea of what your credit score is. So a lot of mistakes that people make is they kind of go in blind. They don't know what their credit score is. They don't realize that the current loans that they're paying for, let's say it's an auto loan, they're paying too much for it, so that when they come in and apply for another loan, or they come in and apply for a mortgage, we say, hey, your debt to income is pretty high. So being prepared to get the loan, knowing what your financial standing is key in order to be able to qualify the loan you're trying to get from.
All right, I got friends here at Coast 360, and so do you. So make sure to come by and check them out, Derek and Andrew and their team here. Fiscal.
Physical fitness is made possible by our partner, Coast 360. Together we thrive.
All right, guys, the good Lord blessed me with several gifts. Powerlifting is unfortunately not one of them, which is why I am going to check out the Summer of Strength event. And I want you to check it out too, because this is amazing. Powerlifting is an incredible spectator sport, and powerlifters are being sought. Make sure to check out ISC Guam on Instagram for more. Last day for early registration is April the 7th. All right, Guam Memorial Hospital Volunteers Association. The Pink Ladies are raising money. They have been doing this for 6 decades, taking care of us by taking care of the Guam Memorial Hospital, and they need money so that they can buy much needed equipment so that they can provide GMH with the tools that they need to have our back. So thank you to the Pink Ladies. We do all we can because they are amazing. All right, and you can sit with us at the UOG Theater to catch Mean Girls the Musical. This is awesome. It's a school version, right? On April 24th, 25th, and 26th, 3 shows, Thursday through Saturday, 6:30 p.m., plus a special matinee at 10 a.m. Mean Girls is super awesome. We hope to see you there. Midweek, happy birthday wishes going out to Joaquin Sus Regis, who celebrates birthday number 22 today, and to my son, my oldest, my shoulder to lean on. I am so proud of the young man that you have become, and we love you all to infinity, says the entire family. And Zita San Augustine, happy birthday, Zita. Your familia is saying happy birthday, and then they get that really cool emoji, like with the party favors, and yeah, you know the one. Just check your iPhone and everything. It's super cool. Want to wish your special someone a happy birthday? Just click the QR code here on your screen or email birthdayclub@kuam.com.
And that's your primetime show.
Have a safe evening.
Two death investigations, shootings, carjackings, a stabbing, a deadly crash, and a massive manhunt that involved local and federal authorities. Hafideh McDelgado, you're watching The Hub, where America's stories begin. The KUAM News team brought you special team coverage, Danger in Paradise, following a string of terror that unfolded across the island. In this episode, a look at the events and what local leaders have to say about it.
A frightening Saturday in Talafofo.
I heard the car accident. I came out here to make sure everyone was okay. The gunman came out of that car.
The silver car.
This silver car, yes. And he had a backpack. He took out the revolver, and I just sprinted right back home.
This woman calling 911 moments after hearing the crash along Route 4A.
There's families here, and everyone we know want to be safe, and now we're kind of scared to even leave our homes.
Residents told to stay indoors. The suspect, Jeremy Pangilinan, crashing the silver sedan into a black pickup truck driven by Clayton Joseph. Joseph unable to avoid the speeding car from making impact.
Suddenly, he just reaching into a pouch and then pull out a gun and then start aiming everybody.
He and his passengers got out unharmed.
When I heard, we just ran for our life.
Another driver recalls the crash.
He sideswiped me, and then when we got down to check everybody's okay, he pulled out a gun.
Police say Pangilinan shot at the driver in another car, injuring their hand before taking off on foot.
We were just fearing for our lives.
You're okay?
Shaken up, not okay, just can't believe, our island, and this is what happens.
More than 130 local and federal authorities combed the area for hours using infrared drone tech and canines to sniff out the suspect.
Residents at Windward Hills apartment in Zonia are still shaken up over the events of the weekend. This is where Jeremy Pangilinan carjacked the vehicle from an 18-year-old resident at gunpoint.
A tenant tells KUAM he was on the second floor when he witnessed someone trying to steal his cousin's car in the parking lot just outside his door.
At first, I was just up here, right here on the balcony, just watching over, like, what's going on? I never seen that before. I saw the whole thing happen. I was like, holy shit. So that's when I ran downstairs.
At the time, he didn't know it was Pangilinan, who was on the run from authorities after shooting and attempting to carjack others in Talafofo.
He had a silver revolver, that's what I recall. It was kind of crazy.
He says the suspect demanded his cousin's keys and threatened to shoot him.
So my cousin just gave him the keys, and then that was it. And then he started running away. Yeah, only for a safety net.
It's a terrifying moment for what he calls a relatively normal and peaceful neighborhood. Plus, he believes Pangilinan was able to evade authorities by hiding out beneath the stairs of the apartment.
I didn't expect him to be here. We did have a feeling he was under the stairs because there was a table that was like moving a certain angle. So maybe that was where he was hiding at the night before.
He says police brought canines to sniff out the area Monday morning. He also shows us a fresh trail in the jungle behind the apartments.
Like someone just made it, so I feel like that was him that did that. Run through the jungle, came over here, waited for the right time.
After a lengthy pursuit that spanned 18 miles from Windward Hills in Talafofo all the way to here on Isangsong Road, Jeremy Pangilinan was apprehended by Guam police and several other law enforcement professionals from agencies right here on this normally quiet strip of road, Stampa Road. Our community was glued to their screens at what Governor Lou Leon Guerrero described as a very frightening situation with the pursuit and eventual capture of Pangilinan.
As he was coming out of Swamp Road onto Isangsong Road, it appears that due to his excessive speed, he lost control of his vehicle, cleared the roadway onto Stampa Road, where he lost control and ended up in a ditch and into the jungle.
Oh, shoot. Mobile video from a neighbor at the scene, shared countless times on WhatsApp, provided insight into an exchange of gunfire and ultimately Pangilinan's capture.
What is wrong here? Huh? As the officers were approaching, we heard, I believe the officers heard what may have been a single gunshot, and so several of our officers returned fire. He's been transported by medics to the hospital for treatment.
He's currently under tight watch at the Guam Regional Medical City, with Chief Ignacio saying the combined effort of a multi-agency response was able to handle the situation quickly with no injuries to any officers.
Reporting from Chico, where a violent series of events began here with a kidnapping and shooting of a local resident. This set off a chain reaction of further violent events and episodes across the island. Today we speak with Chico's mayor to learn more about how this has impacted the community.
You know, it's sad when you know, things like this happen, especially when it hits home. We just have to be mindful that you know, we can't take advantage of, we can't just go out there and do things on our own.
The violent ordeal began here last Thursday afternoon. The suspect's siblings allegedly forced a man from his residence into a silver sedan, the suspects attacking him before shooting him in the torso, leaving him for dead. The victim was later taken to the Guam Regional Medical City. His condition remains unknown at this time. Jigo Mayor Frances Lizama says her residents were quick to lean on one another.
We do have a chat group. People are posting on there, just trying to find out what's going on, and hoping to at least give the support of you see something, say something.
She cautions residents against taking matters into their own hands, urging them to call GPD immediately.
Honey, do you want some milk?
Do you ever wonder how your favorite products make their way into your local stores? Most arrive on state-of-the-art Matson vessels that transport containers of food, household items, equipment, and supplies into the islands every week. Because we know that you depend on us, we work closely with our partners to ensure that our shipments arrive on time, all the time, so you can find your favorite products when you need them. We transport the region's most precious cargo that supports successful businesses and promotes a better quality of life for our families. Matson is proud to have been the hometown shipping carrier for Guam, the CNMI, and Micronesia for the past 25 years, and you can count on us to be here for generations to come.
NBC's Wednesday primetime lineup comes into focus with Vision Express. Fast, fashionable, focused.
KUAM TV8, first on Guam.
Check it out. Pizza Hut's rippable, dippable Cheesy Bites pizza in Ranch Lovers Flight with 3 flavors is a game changer. With 28 cheesy-filled bites, everyone's gonna be dunking it. The Cheesy Bites pizza in new Ranch Lovers Flight. Get it on the Pizza Hut app.
The governor and the lieutenant governor were at the scene that unfolded in Talafofo over the weekend, both taking the opportunity to speak about the chaos as it happened. Take a listen.
Okay, well, of course, Governor Lulian is here too, and Gov, buenas to you. And obviously, the nature of these crimes is very, very frightening, and the fact that several of them have happened in such close frequency to each other. So, what message would you have to the villagers here and to our community?
Just to say that I think the chief and his leadership and team, and they're very strategically doing everything they can to get these suspects. Of course, the last couple of days have been, like you said, very frightening, and I just wanted the people of Guam to know that I am on top of this with the chief and our law enforcement people, the whole community of enforcement, FBI, and as the chief said, the National Guard and the military. So we're bringing in every resource that is available here on island. I want to say to the people of Guam to please be assured that the law enforcement that we have here are competent, they're capable, they're experts, they're trained in situations like this, and the results are showing. We've already arrested Jathan Tatautau. They're really very scrutinizing this place inch by inch by inch. I came here at the command station to give my support to our very hardworking law enforcement, and of course assure them that whatever resources we need to do, we will support them in that. And that is all just basically because we believe that the safety of our people is utmost priority, and we want to make sure that they feel safe in their homes. And this demonstration of the many resources and people that we have out, we're going to, of course, get the suspects, and justice will be served to the people of Guam. You know, information needs to be official. And I know people through social media, they have all these contacts, and there may be wrong information or misinformation out there that just continues the anxiety of our people. So I just want to make sure that the public gets their information from the official media sources, and also the police department is putting out regular updates. That is also an official source. So please, let's not try to spread misinformation, as it just makes our people more anxious. And I know the chief is going to have regular updates through the media, and that's where people should get their information. And it's very important too that if you have any information about the suspects or anything that you've seen that might be suspicious, please call 911. It's a very easy number to remember, because then the dispatchers will work with the police officers too.
These last 48 hours, we've seen some gun violence on our island. After speaking with him and learning about all the manpower and the resources that are being used, I'm very comfortable and confident that all law enforcement, including some federal assistants, are out there and are going to find this suspect and hold them to justice, the suspect and whoever his accomplices are. You know, Guam's a very special place, and it's a very peaceful place, and we're going to fight to make sure that violent criminals like this are not going to take a run on our island. And so I'd like to ask the public to be very vigilant, especially the people here in Talofofo. You know, lock your doors. Make sure that you know the whereabouts of your loved ones. If you have family and friends, check on them. You know, everybody has family chats, right? It's always good to check in and make sure that everybody is safe. But the most important thing is, if you see something, you got to say something. And I think that's the best that we can do. I would just assure the community that there's a lot of resources that are being spent right now. There are officers, some of the best trackers on the island, that are out there searching. We're going to find these people, this person, and we're going to bring them to justice.
I know that the investigators will have to do the thing to kind of get to the bottom of the motives of these of the suspects, but the question has continued for the past 48 hours. What is going on Guam?
Well, you know, obviously, when we see things like this, we have to assume that the underlying cause is the methamphetamine problem. Of course, I'll leave it to the law enforcement. They have to put their case together with the attorneys. But the reality is that we've had a long-standing drug problem. And this drug problem leads to many bad things. And there's many ways that we do about it. It has to be both interdiction and aggressive public safety. And on the other side, it's going to be the treatment and getting people out of a path that they shouldn't be on. But I know that there's some naughty people out there, people that don't deserve to be out in the community. Those people need to be in prison.
Talofofo is your home.
Yes.
You live just up the street. So what's going through your mind when you're seeing something like this, something violent like this, and now a manhunt happening so close to home?
Sure. Well, I'll tell you that in my own street, right, we have a neighborhood street watch, right? So I know that many islanders around the villages have the same thing, right? This is a time where we watch each other's back. Not only our relatives, but our neighbors. And, this is a time where you should know who your neighbors are. In the end, right, people always take care of each other on Guam. And this is the time that we have to take care of each other, and we have to protect each other.
Any additional message you want to share with our viewers and our community as we continue to wait and search?
Well, I just want the community members to, this is a time, of course, to stay calm, but to be vigilant, make sure that you take a look at your surroundings, secure yourselves. But also, if you know something, and this island is pretty small, people know things. Do your part and say something.
Final question: with the assumption of drug being part of the problem with the violence we've seen for the past 48 hours, all the manpower being used for tonight's search efforts, do you think that this warrants more resources and more funding to be poured into our law enforcement for just any type of drug interdiction or safety efforts?
Sure. I mean, that's our commitment is to expand law enforcement numbers, number one. I also think that we worked with Senator Dueñas to get legislation passed that allows us to tap onto other law enforcement agencies in the government and bring them out. In this kind of situation, what you're seeing is a suppression effort. It's a big investigation. People are working together to try and utilize every resource to keep the community safe. And we have to stay on that track. So I would say that, we're going to be having another class at police, another class at customs. The answer is that we have to expand the number of law enforcement officers. We expand the number of vehicles, give them the resources, give them training, and then work with the counterparts, with the feds, to try and make sure that we have the best team. We have some good talent, and we just have to expand them. And that has to be the posture in the upcoming budget, and in the future budgets, there always has to be an increase in the number of law enforcement officers and resources. That's the posture that we have to be in.
Le dije, vamos a hacer maldades. Pues yo te traje. Pago ya el mahones si no baila pa' que sale. Aquí están mis anormales. Tú mueves ese en el. Esto es pa' las nenas nuevas, pa' los nenes, pa' la vida.
The Monday after all the string of crimes unfolded, Public Safety Oversight Chair Senator Shango Matautau introduced a measure. The bill would increase law enforcement workforce by authorizing temporary peace officer standards and training certification. The senator joins us to talk about this, but first, I want to get your thoughts on the events that happened over the past week.
You would think that it would not have, be kind of almost a sleepy weekend, just another weekend in paradise, but from the events leading into the weekend with the Talofofo shooting, it was really saddened by, as a public safety chair, that starting to hear more and more of these types of actions. Didn't realize it would come to my front doorstep. Actually, it was to the doorstep of San Miguel Church, where I'm a parishioner. We're at Mass, kind of heard about the shooting, Family and friends were saying, be careful out there. I said, well, then I'll just go pray for them today. Then as soon as we got out of Mass, then the calls and the WhatsApps got a little bit more intense, saying you need to go shelter in place. And that was pretty much the alarm bells for me and my family and the families that were at San Miguel Church. Everyone went home. By the time we got home and locked everyone in the house and secured the home, it was just a wait and see, and it was a lot of anxiety, Nick. And I think for most of the villagers of Talofofo, I stay in As Lucas, I think all of As Lucas was on high alert. So this was an uneasy weekend, I think, an uneasy weekend knowing that this was happening, but a little comfort knowing that the GPD was in full effect. It was very, very harrowing for much of the early part of the evening on Saturday.
And you've worked in the news business, so you know what it's like as well. But now in your role in the chairing of the agencies like the KUAM Police Department, this also shows the importance. The Chief of Police and the Lieutenant Governor who was on scene admitted to me that it's sad, it's unfortunate that it comes to situations like this that we realize our shortfalls, our shortcomings.
No, absolutely. And I've been working very closely with the Chief of Police and trying to provide resources. As I've told many of the public safety agencies and the emergency management agencies and the National Guard for that matter, is that this job, at least for me, will be all about policy. It cannot be about money. They need other ways to help them so that they can solve some of the bigger problems that they face resource-wise. But it does say to the community that their coordination for this was undoubtedly was really good. I mean, we got 2 of the 3 bad guys, and other issues are happening simultaneously. If you think about how stretched they were over the last 6 days, and they remain stretched. And I think our community needs to see this for what it is it's something's gotta give. We need to do something important to support the priorities of our public safety agencies. And there's a lot of people will say, well, Senator, this is, it just can't be that way. What about education, healthcare? But I think people who live in Talofofo would argue that today, or the villagers in Jigo, and all along Route 1 or wherever the high-speed chase was at, business owners and visitors, we need to do something and something quick, because this problem with drugs is really hurting our entire image and it's hurting our community.
Yeah, that's something that the chief expressed as well, that he believes that there is a connection to the drug problem that we have on Guam with this incident that we had with the siblings. So that's kind of your sense? Yeah,
I think so. And I think the Lieutenant Governor was correct that some people need to be incarcerated. I know we live in a country of laws, but some of the things, like in this case, I'm hoping that the judges in the Superior Court, there's a provision of law about if you commit a felony on felony release, it's a mandatory minimum, I think it's 10 years. They got to hold the line. I'm hoping that they'll hold the line and really, show this community that we can't dictate what the judges are going to do, right? But my goodness, the statute is there to protect the people of Guam, and I'm hoping that the judicial officers will see the case for what it is, get the evidence, but especially a felony on felony release, it just has to be taken seriously.
In light of the chaos this past week, I wanted to ask you then, as public safety chair, what are you planning to do about it? I know you have legislation introduced. We're going to get to more on that in a bit, but we'll take a quick break.
Sometimes parenting can be hard. What should I be doing? The Guam Early Learning Council includes partners who can provide you with early childhood services and supports. We are here to assist. For resources and information, simply call 311 Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., excluding holidays. Early connection can change everything.
Public Safety Oversight Chair Senator Shango Matauta has put forward legislation authorizing the Peace Officer Standards and Training Commission to grant temporary peace officer certification for individuals who possess a degree in criminal justice or equivalent area of study and who are in good standing. He says he offers this measure as a responsible approach to recruiting college graduates who have invested their time and resources to earn a degree and begin careers as members of our law enforcement agencies. Senator Gumatauto is joining us on the Hub to discuss more. All right, Senator, so let's get right into this legislation you introduced. I mean, it's quite interesting how you came up with the method, and what was your tactic behind it?
Yeah, I was going to share with you, Nick, one of my very first meetings when I was inaugurated was with the Attorney General of Guam, and Doug Moylan offered up some insight to his workforce. And I know that it's not the conversations that you've been hearing recently about attorney shortages. We're talking about those that really are taking care of victims. Some of these law enforcers who are not in that eye like an attorney. And so it was that, and talking to my friends at the courts, there's ways that we can help those who are maybe on the right there at the edge to be able to serve right away in public safety agencies. So the measure is to allow the Peace Officer Standards and Training Commission to offer temporary licenses to these individuals. I worked very closely with my former boss at the Judiciary, John Lazama, to make this work. His input was critical with this. It allows those folks who are really at the, that can come in right now and get pro certification. These are professionals.
Criminal justice.
Yeah, majors, maybe the graduates that they need to get that last course either on firearms training, the EVOC training for driving the vehicles, whatever the case might be. It's very temporary. It allows them to, again, hopefully to go to a job, work for a while they're also getting those final training requirements that is required by Guam law. And the great thing is, to me, Nick, when I think about this, it's just how we need to recruit. There was like 25 or so that are right now that could start tomorrow and support. Now remember, even if we had 1, maybe 10 today, they would be offering a great assistance to our law enforcement community. But because of the way the statute's written, they can't. So I'm hoping this is a way to bridge that gap, get them working, and then hopefully this is used as others who are maybe finishing up their degrees. These are, these could be anywhere from probation officers to those guys in the parole division of DOC, obviously the Attorney General's office, the marshals, you name it. There's another opportunity for us to recruit them and get them in and get them to work right away.
We saw how much that need is there, especially with what happened in Talifofo. They had to call in. We saw conservation officers helping out in the search from Department of Agriculture. The feds came in, federal counterparts came in to help Guam police as well in the search. More than 130 law enforcement all at once. But I gotta ask, and I'm sure the public might have the same question, if these are just recent graduates who have yet to complete the requirements to become full-fledged law enforcement officers, what about the liability and risks of them being out there in the field?
There's been a lot of discussion on that. I mean, they're going to be closely supervised by some of the top law enforcement personnel on Guam.